Hello. So it was a year ago today that I started Walk with Kev. So I figured today would be a good day to just look back and reminisce a little bit on this whole thing, and talk a little bit about why I'm doing this, why I did this, what's the point. So about a year ago, I was finishing the first draft of my book, which link in bio by the way. You can pick that up, and you should. It's good. And I got an editor, and she said I should probably have some sort of social media presence. And that, I mean, I kind of knew, obviously, if you're releasing anything these days, any sort of product, you need a social media presence. So it made sense, but I just didn't want to do it, right? Social media, I didn't have an Instagram account or anything like that. I didn't want to. I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to be a human advertisement. So you know it was something that there was a lot of resistance there. And on top of that, I hated being on camera. I always hated looking at photos of myself. I hated listening to my voice. The idea of doing that, it just did not appeal to me. So the idea I had, given that I hate looking at my face, I hate listening to my voice, I said, do you know what, I'll start a YouTube channel, because I can talk about arthritis and chronic pain and health and fitness and all that sort of stuff on YouTube, and it seemed like it would be a better format. So that was massively going out of my comfort zone. I had this idea because in the book I have these 6 things, right? It's eat, sleep, walk, lift, breathe, and move. These are the things that I think are important for just general health, but especially if you're living with chronic pain or arthritis, they can be super helpful. So my idea was I would go on a walk, one of the 6 things, every day, and talk about the other 5 things. And I quickly realized that was not going to work, because editing a video and uploading a video every day to YouTube while you have a full-time job and everything, it just doesn't really work. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort. I was learning video editing at the time. You have to learn photo editing, trying to learn about the camera and all that sort of stuff, how to set all that up. So I figured actually let's just take a picture and put it on Instagram, and that was it. It was just going to be a picture. And again, the point was just because my editor told me to do it. Then as the weeks and months progressed, I kind of started messing with the pictures. I threw up a couple of videos, started doing a bit of editing. I'd never really done photo editing before, never done video editing before, so I was kind of learning that as I went. And the goal was just to show up every day. So that's kind of boring, so I said I'd put some targets on it. And I had various different targets, like walk the width of Ireland, walk the length of Ireland, all that stuff. And then I said, well, what if I had a really long-term goal? So that was walk 40,000 kilometers, right? And look, I know there are people out there that run marathons every day and they're absolute machines, they're animals. That's not what this is about. This is about showing up every day and just doing a little bit. Some days the walks are like a kilometer, some days they're 10 kilometers. It doesn't really matter. The point is about showing up every day and about consistency and about building towards something, right? And just layering on. By showing up and accumulating small amounts of effort, you can actually achieve something pretty big. And you know what? If you've got a full-time job, you've got kids, all that other stuff, it's important for this sort of thing to be manageable if you're going to do it. So I set that goal, 40,000 kilometers, and man, at the current pace, that's going to take like 26 years. And what's interesting about having a goal that long is that Instagram probably won't be around at that time. My life will probably be completely different. So when I think about, like, it was 98 26 years ago, and I was 13, kind of in first year. Life was very, very different. So it's kind of really hard to think about what's life going to be like in 26 years, but having a goal that actually extends out that far, it actually gives you some real perspective on your future and stuff. So I think that's interesting. So anyway, that's kind of the reason why I started doing this. I'm not looking for followers, I'm not looking for anything like that. The reason I'm putting up the pictures is, I mean, it's a bit of public accountability, but to be honest, if I wasn't putting pictures, I'd be walking anyway. I was doing this anyway before I started doing this. What is interesting about the public accountability is that I wouldn't have learned more about Photoshop, about video editing. When I'm out for these walks, I'm kind of looking around and with a creative mindset of saying, like, what can I do? How can I come up with a picture? Some days I just don't want to do it at all. Like, the walk is fine, I'll do that. But the putting up the picture, man, some days I just really don't want to do that. But it's a lesson in showing up and just keeping going regardless. I think that's a good muscle to use, to flex. And it's really good to have some sort of creative outlet, and this has been good for me. So the takeaway anyway in all of this is just go for a walk, man. Go for a walk, do something, learn some new skills, and just keep showing up. And yeah, I will see you in a year, I guess.